Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living the dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living the dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The feels not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gon' stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living the dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining. If you haven't already done so, do us a favor, drops a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, a bookmark on the space. We greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo here on a sleepy Monday morning. Our European friends taking the day off, and many of the U.S. folks already on holiday week. So we'll be here every day this week, Monday through Friday at 8 as always. Probably a shorter show Thursday and Friday. Maybe audio only, to be determined, but appreciate y'all being here regardless. Hope you all having a great holiday week, and I hope the semifinals of football treated y'all better than myself this weekend. Not nearly enough. Hola, Diego, in the X video chat, as well as Absolute Zero over in YouTube. I'll check our abstractors, Teacher Katie, yep, never fails, early GM over there, and Mel back at it with the first GM in the Spaces chat. Congrats to the little ones and their big accomplishments here. As always, I'm Cap, co-hostless today, but as always, never any, Diego, we might be fading the Ayakas for Christmas, to be determined, but I'm sure yours turned out excellent. Enjoy, and I'll get a full, that's one thing I will do Thursday and or Friday morning. We'll share some clips of the fine food. But yeah, had a great show on Friday. Enjoyed a chat with Funky, who's jumping up. And as always, never any financial advice in the show. Crypto's risky, NFTs risky, meme coins exception risky. Noted that I might hold tokens I'll talk about from time to time here in this year. Not a financial advisor, certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join for that. Just join for some fun, some information, maybe a little bit of education along the way, especially as I plan to live trade here on the show. Not even trade, but we're going to go 40x short. Got it opened up, the finger hovering over the sell or the short button. We're just going to wait until wait until the experts say it is time to place that order. I thought I might have missed it because we ran up, almost hit, might have touched 91K, and then a little bit of a sell off. It's climbing back up again, but the chat is telling me about an hour and a half after open, probably. Then I heard sometime between like 9:30 and 10 Eastern time is the most likely time that the Jane Street and crew start dumping on our heads following a feel good pump. Funky, what say you? Should I'm gonna. It's not a big amount, anyways, but I'm gonna try to play this Monday morning dump trade this morning, and then close it out. So, two questions: A, if the dump happens on Monday morning, if the funds, if Jane Street and crew do sell into the Monday morning pump, when is the optimal time to open the short? Is it between 9:30 and 10 Eastern? And then second question is, when's the best time to close it? GM, sir. Enjoyed the chat Friday. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, like your beginning said, do a small amount of risk, keep a tight stop loss. So, like, if it's something where it's going to surge, then you might want to just make sure that you're actually protecting your upside risk, right? Like, if it is going to continue to pump, you don't want to get your short and you don't want to get upside down or underwater. So, but beyond that, yes, I was going to also say two things. One, thank you so much for Friday. For those who are listening to Coffee with Cap this morning and did get a chance, I do a weekly show, Funky Fridays, and Cap was very gracious and came on and did a full hour with me, talked about like life and all sorts of fun things. And if you've never seen it on HBO, there's a new show that's called It's Florida Man, and we were watching it last night, and it's a great show for anybody who's watching it. It's like you always hear the stories about Florida Man, and the title is about Florida Man. If you don't know the meme, any of you that are listening, you can go Google the words Florida Man plus your birthday, and you will see some ridiculous headline about something a Florida man did on your birthday, and they're outrageous. But there's a show on HBO called It's Florida Man, and it's a pun because it's like a Florida comma man, but they tell real life crazy ass Florida stories that are reenacted with famous actors. So it's quite comical. But last night, Cap, the one that was on that we watched was actually set in Sarasota, and it was at a place called Manna, MANNAT, and Kava Bar. And I was like, oh my gosh, just talking about this with Cap on Friday, the Kava Bar. So right you are. They extend beyond Pinellas, and they're even down in Sarasota County. But check out the show if you've never seen it.
Wait, so what was it about though? Like the specific manatee?
These two dudes meet in this manatee slash kava bar, manatee and kava bar. So it's a non-alcoholic establishment, like we were talking about, and they serve just tea and kava, and that's the name of it. And he was explaining it, and that's the sign. So
Wait,
I'm
that's
sure
where
people
they-
have seen manatees, but they're going to hunt the skunk ape, which is supposedly a Florida thing where it's like Bigfoot in the Everglades.
Unbelievable. I kid you not. I think I've been there even recently. I popped in to that exact location. I'm guessing there's probably only one of these. So what a wild coincidence. And I guess the
Wow.
most important question: did they catch the ape skunk?
I don't want to ruin the episode for those who are about to start watching the show, but the answer is yes, in some sense. But I'll
My
just say that they were high as hell on mushrooms when they did so.
fair. My Florida man birthday Google search, it returns Robbie Stratton was captured on video bringing an alligator into a convenience store and the beer cooler, claiming he had no memory due to drinking. So, yes, this is a real, true story. You can, and there's multiple on my birthday. Florida man arrested on a DUI charge after driving scooter while drunk and crashing into shelves Sunday at the Walmart. Another one, shocking incidents unfolded. A woman who worked in a Florida hotel. Maybe I should have read this one first. Yeah, that's not a good one. That's a sad one. Yeah, this is, if you've never done the Florida Man Google game, I do recommend it. That's like a good. Someone should turn this into maybe a drinking game, maybe a holiday game. The best. Let us know what's your Florida Man story, Florida Man, and your birthday. Drop that in the chat. We'll pick a winner day. I actually do need to come up with some giveaways this week. We have, as always, our sponsors have come up with just above and beyond contributions for our audience without even having an active campaign in place. They just, few have already reached out. So we're going to reach out to some other ones and see. I think we're going to do a fun holiday badge here later this week. And one thing we have, which is one of the topics of the day, we do have a Nobody Sausage blind box to give away later this week. And that's actually, I've got 4 actually topics today. And Funky, you can help me out if there's anything else on your mind or anything you saw. It seemed like kind of a light news weekend. And actually most of the news, like even the title Punks in the MoMA, hit Friday. So some of this is catch up news that dropped after we wrapped Coffee with Captain on Friday. Still obviously very noteworthy. Not just Punks, Squiggles, and digital art making its way into the MoMA. Big deal. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Maybe it is. I don't think it's a coincidence that it followed the breakout moment. I think it was an inflection point for digital art at Art Basel. I've said it. I'm going to keep saying it. Maybe this was the timing of this was announced or it was planned this whole time, and it is just coincidence. Or they were on the fence, they were debating, and they saw the breakout moment at Art Basel. Like, okay, it's a good time to announce this. Whether it was they were planning for the right moment and the market being whatever the market's been doing. I don't think it just came together following Art Basel. I think this stuff like this probably takes months, if not years, in the making. But worth hitting on that. We'll cover it a little bit if anyone wants to expand on that, by all means. The other topics, I saw Fed injecting 6, 7, 8 billion, something like that, in the market, but I think it's probably a nothing burger. They've been doing this, and I don't think any of that's coming. I don't think any of that's getting injected into our JPEGs. Probably very little of that getting injected into our digital coins as well. There's not necessarily a blind box debate, but we're going to turn it into a blind box debate. Sergito had a post over the weekend that got some discussion going, and I wanted to carry that into the show this morning. The lead headline there, if you missed it, is of the Burbs blind boxes, only 6% have been redeemed for the physical. I didn't expect all of them, but I am shocked. And it's not closed yet, so there's still time. And Collector Crypt, in their 17 steps to redeem, is maybe the worst UI UX I've experienced in crypto. And there's been some challenging ones, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And then the last nugget or last bullet point I had for the day is Polymarket teasing. I don't know if it's official, if it's a done deal, or they're just discussing or threw out there as a potential, but Polymarket talking about their own layer 2. I'm going to just straight up ask you, Funky, not to get into it. We'll come back to these other headlines, but let's say hypothetically that happens. Polymarket launches their own layer 2 for Polymarket. Is that the beginning of the end for L2s and new L1s? That, not all, but ones that launch without their own flagship app, without their own. If they don't have a killer dApp, what are you doing? What's your point? You can't say, oh, we're going to be the most performant blockchain. Well, Mega East already got you there, and they're launching with some unique novel dApps. And time will tell. I'm very bullish on that chain because of how they've been moving and who they're launching with, how they're launching with their partners. it seems like they actually have a strategy as opposed to it's easiest to compare to Monad, another hyped layer one that launched just recently, and their most used DApp is a beer pong game. That ain't it. It ain't gonna cut it. You can't just launch a DEX and forks of things that are already on other chains and expect people are going to migrate to your chain. It's just not going to work. So yeah, Funky, do you think if Polymarket goes away from Polygon and they launch their own L2, is that the beginning of the end for L2s, whether existing or new, and new L1s that attempt to go to market without a killer DApp?
I think we're already seeing the beginning of both. The beginning of both the end of unnecessary L2s as well as unnecessary L1s. I think the way that tokens continue to go to zero, like this is interesting because, obviously, I work at a company that's an infra provider, Global Stake, but the company that bootstrapped us is Silvermine Capital. So they're a Web3 fund. They've been in tech for 25 years, but they're a fund that is expressly interested in Web3 at this point. And much of their deal flow now, the sticking point isn't tokens. No one gives a shit about tokens anymore. It's all about actual equity in whatever they're building. So like a lot of the SAFs now are looking for equity in the company. They don't really want a token because they know where this is all going. Like a lot of these tokens are just going to continue to bleed to zero, especially if you don't capture anything meaningful. If you're not generating revenue like a Hyperliquid or an Athena, if you're just put out a token to bootstrap some kind of ecosystem, people are going to come farm it. They're going to dump it. They're just going to, and then if it's an L1, you're using that to incentivize the validators to secure the chain. And then you're going to have that constant sell pressure from them for the security budget. So I just don't see what the purpose would be. Now, I think it's a genius move on the part of Polymarket, right? Because they've exquisitely found PMF, right? They've got outside of them and Kalshi, right? Like they're the two biggest prediction markets. And it makes a ton of strategic sense to be your own L2 because most L2s, again, Mega ETH is a different part of this conversation with their rotational sequencer setup. But most L2s, you just have a single sequencer. So there's a team that's running a sequencer and you're effectively printing money because if you're using optimistic rollups, for instance, you're putting these out in these large batches that are going down to the ETH L2, and the little bit of fees that you're earning through those transactions all go to you. So you keep them. So in the case of Polymarket, when you look at the volumes that are being driven by the people who are using the app all the time, why give that away to Polygon, right? Like if you can capture that as well as whatever you're taking from the fees of just like people placing their predictions, which I'm assuming, I don't know, I've never really looked into sort of the mechanics of Polymarket or Kalshi, but I'm assuming they earn something when people are placing predictions, right? Or bets, right? Let's just call them what they are. So to go to to have your own dedicated L2 and to have a sequencer to capture all that value makes a ton of sense. I think it's the right move for them. But to your broader question, yes, I think that this is just what we're seeing as the market is wising up to that. To your point, Cap, like why would you want to why migrate your liquidity? Why go through another bridge? And I think this is also why Vitalik himself in the last few months has been talking about his deep frustration with the lack of interoperability among the L2s, where you're still having to use these clunky bridges and everything else to move from one place to the L. I think this is why I'm not trying to show Project X, but I love Project X as someone who's using a lot on Hyper EVM. I love how they have sort of this bridge aggregator system where you can swap from one chain to the next and you really don't have to use a separate bridge. You've consolidated everything into a single UI. So I think anything that continues to make the UX a seamless experience for all of us is going to win mindshare. It's going to win activity. It's going to win, just like general usage. So I think it's going to be increasingly a more difficult market for L2s and even new L1s if you're not, to your point, offering something that is incredibly novel or a 0 to 1 DApp that is very unique, like Mega ETH is doing with the Mega Mafia, which you assume is going to be day one launching beyond mainnet beta, like when mainnet gets here. So I don't know. I just don't see how people are going to continue to or I should say, even teams continue to build these L2s and other L1s when we clearly already have an infrastructure glut and have for a very long time.
Yeah, we've got plenty of infrastructure. Now, I do agree it'd be great if the infrastructure was more interoperable, but we don't we don't need more, in my opinion. We've got plenty of chains, we've got plenty of infra. We need them to work better together. And I at some point, now I understand why builders would want to launch their own chain. I understand why they've launched infra. They've been able to print, they've been able to raise hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, and do so without really shipping anything noteworthy or finding product market fit. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, well, yeah, blockchains have product market fit, but so many have not even really attempted to differentiate themselves. And maybe it's just my hopium. Maybe it's the optimist in me coming out. Could 2026 finally be the year that investors start funding apps like they've been funding new blockchains for the last 5 years? Like, you see these raises from these blockchains that get virtually no TVL, virtually no users, and it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, cool new novel dApps, like, they're excited over raising 10 million. Don't get me wrong, it's still a large amount of money, it's still a large amount of funds, but it's just seems ass backwards, for lack of a better word. Like, it'd be like the equivalent of, and I saw, I guess, another flyover news nugget that Solana is ending support for the saga. The Solana attempt at a mobile phone is over. Insanely tough business to get into. Insanely tough business to get into. Insanely tough. As someone who spent 20 years of my life in that world, I saw many of the giants that are far more valuable, far more funded, far more revenue than Solana has, be one and done in that space. From Microsoft to Amazon to Facebook, they all attempted to launch phones and they all failed miserably. I think the Microsoft actually made it. Now they've done collaborations and stuff, but it's more so for Windows. Their Windows-based OS, which was also a flop. But as far as like an actual Windows phone, they had the Microsoft Kin and the Kin One, and they were both horrible, losers for Microsoft. The Fire phone, if you remember that, again, a one and done. Facebook, I can't remember what they called their hardware, but also a one and done. Like, it's really, really, really difficult to break into the phone business, the hardware business. And so I'm not surprised to see the saga be two and done. It's kind of normal. Like, the chance of being the next Samsung or Apple, in that when you're competing against Samsung and Apple, and you're not going to focus on the East, right? I know HTC, Huawei, like there's other manufacturers throughout the world. I mean, it's the reason that Android has a dominant global market share lead is because there's a lot of these Android phones that fit into a lower price bucket, a lower price point, demographic that's looking for a cheaper phone, not the latest and greatest. That's not the US. To capture any sort of market share in the US, like, I've seen even some of these other, like, I remember Blue Phone was an Android phone that came at a lower price point and attempted to compete for a bit in the States. And it's so difficult. Apple has this, Samsung has this. Like, if you're good luck calling an iPhone out of an Apple fanboy or girl. And if you do, they're probably going to go to Samsung because they're so like, the reason to switch would be, oh, I want the latest and greatest hardware. I want the latest and greatest tech. And again, good luck trying to get that from Samsung. I just live update here as I consider opening this short. We just dipped below 90K again. I might have missed the local top here. I'm still going to fire sometime between 9:30 and 10. We'll see. We'll keep eyes on it throughout the show here. But a few other, we can continue going on this. As always, open stage. If anyone has any thoughts, wants to get in on this conversation regarding L2s and the future L2s, or any of these other news items, feel free to throw in a request to come up or drop your question in the chat. Speaking of the chat, right now, Dort is winning Dort is winning the Florida Man Challenge. No surprise coming from a Florida man himself. But Dort's Florida Man killed in possible alligator attack while searching lake for frisbees. Here's one thing I know about Florida. I grew up in the Midwest, where we swim in lakes. We swim in lakes. We swim in ponds. No big deal. You couldn't pay me enough money to actually swim in a Florida lake or a Florida pond. Now, I will kayak, and I will, even when I'm kayaking, I'm going to bring a knife or something with me of defense. I'm not like scared of gators, but I have no desire to swim in a murky pond or lake in Florida where I can't see 5 feet in front of me. And so if you throw a frisbee in a lake in Florida, let it go. Let it go. It's time to move on. That frisbee's gone, and you're better off to just go buy another $10 frisbee than risk your life by trying to track down that frisbee. Still accepting more. Right now, Dort's in the lead. Anyone else wants to fire their Florida Man challenge, just go to Google, type in your birthday, Florida Man, and your birthday, and give us your favorite story. There's probably multiple. Like me, you probably got 2 or 3, maybe 4 on that exact date. We're back up over 90K. So we've not missed the north of 90K pump. I'm not even joking. I'm not a perpetrator. I'm not hanging up those cleats. I just don't believe I have an edge, especially with how the markets have been trading lately. I feel like not only do you need to be dialed into charts, like to have a real edge, I think you need to have some of the inside info with what these funds are doing. And that's not me. I don't have those connections. So I'm going to do what the Twitter timeline is telling me that those funds are doing, which is Jane Street and crew are dumping at market open, which it does make logical sense. I said over the weekend, someone else's tweet, like if you have a bag of meme coins that are down bad this year and they're long-term holds for you, for whatever reason, sell your meme coins right now and then immediately rebuy. There's no 30-day wash trading law in crypto yet. I think it inevitable. Like at some point that's going to change. But right now it's purely legal. It's above board. Talk to your accountant first. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm certainly not an accountant. But yeah, let's say just hypothetically, if you bought the top of Fartcoin, and you rolled 10K into Fartcoin at the Pico top, in the next 9 days, sell that bag of Fartcoin. And if you think it's still got life ahead, if you don't want to sell and take the L, sell, rebuy, book the USDL, book the L for tax loss purposes, and you have the same amount of Fartcoin. You're still long. You still have the same position. You didn't capitulate. You didn't sell the bottom. You just made a savvy financial move. So, and it's not just meme coins. If you bought the Bitcoin top, sell your Bitcoin, rebuy, do it same day. Do it in the same block if you want. I think maybe someone check me on that, Funky. There's no same block law that cancels out the no wash trading rule in crypto, is there?
No, not that I'm aware of, and nor could the IRS ever even try or understand it's in the same block. No, I think you'd be fine.
So it's smart. We talk often about like tax loss harvesting, your NFTs, your crypto. This, as far as I know, and I'm sure that there was some, but at scale, this is really the first year. I said sell, but then immediately rebuy. Hot air will eventually rise, they say, but don't sell bottoms. You buy dips and you sell the rips, except for tax loss harvesting season, which we're in right now. Now, we've talked about this for years on the individual side. As far as I know, this is really the first year there's been institutional size from major funds, major institutions sitting on billions of dollars of Bitcoin and ETH. And it would just make sense for them to book some tax loss L's and then rebuy their bag. I'm not saying that's what's happening. For as many Mondays as I can, it's not just Mondays. There's been a lot of market opens, but even more so seems that, like, if anyone has the data on this, let me know. But it seems like for the last couple of months, at least the last month, every Monday I can remember, we've seen this weekend pump. And then around 9:30, 10 o'clock, we see a massive sell-off. I don't know what happened last Friday. It was Friday, I think, where we saw the God candle followed by the death candle. I can't figure these markets out other than we seem to be somewhat range bound, and there seem to be some predictable times where the market moves. Could be completely wrong, could be just pure coincidence. I've been paper trading it in my head and it's been right. So today is the day I actually open up the 40x short. It's probably also the day that the trend breaks and it as is the actual Santa rally, and we just rerun straight to 100K from here, and there's no sell off. So don't do what I do or what I say. Don't take this for any financial advice. I am, throwing maybe hundreds of dollars, not anything material, but going to play a little bit today. Instead of paper trading, going to play with some small size and see if I can time up a short to open. And then I need to close the short before it starts running again. But I see Brian jumped up here with the hand up. Big Bitcoin guy. Brian, GM, don't hate me for shorting Bitcoin today. It's only a temporary short. I still remain irresponsibly long.
GM, no hate. Good luck on the short. I mean, we all got to make money out here to stay out here, right? That's the whole goal. Stay as long as you can.
I need a job, so I have more money to throw at this stuff. I'm running out of dry powder, so I'm going to start. I don't know. I'm going to start exploring creative ways to no feet picks or anything of that such, but start exploring creative ways to have more trading capital, more degen money. My best ball season, I was banking on it, and Trey McBride let me down. Not nearly enough James Cook, not nearly enough Puka Nakua. So it was very, very right. Like even my most owned tight end was Harold Fannin, which looked like a smash, and just things did not break right. So I'm going to be lucky if I get one team through to best ball finals. And I've got I need Jonathan Taylor to drop like a 30 burger tonight and the 49ers win. Not sure how that happens, but I need a Christmas miracle here for my best ball bags and my dynasty league where I'm in the semis. I am trailing. I face Christian McCaffrey, but I have Purdy, Kittle, and the Colts kicker. So I've got a shot, but it's going to be a real sweat. I would never wish an injury on CMC. I think 49ers run the table and win the Super Bowl, but I need to thread the needle to advance to the finals today. So my fully plan to parlay my fantasy winnings right into the market and level up my fund money again, but not looking great. So maybe we'll hit a Powerball. I took a shot at the Powerball with some family members over the weekend. We did not win $1 billion, but I say let's run it back. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sure you had more to add to the conversation.
Yeah. Shout out to the Colts kicker, whatever his name is. But I was going to jump in on the last topic. You guys were talking about the whole fees thing and like apps versus building your own chain and that sort of thing. You may have seen recently, there's a guy, Santiago Santos, who was kind of arguing with Raul Paul. I can't remember if he was on like his podcast or like vice versa, whatever it was. And then Santiago was on I think Thread Guy's show talking about it, but it's been going on for a little while. I noticed it when he published his blog about the topic, and mainly he was talking about network effects, kind of pushing back on crypto really having the same network effects that we've been talking about for years with like Metcalfe's law and all this sort of thing. And he threw out some numbers in the blog, but this is exactly what it reminded me of. According to him, the fee share for and this is layer ones in particular. So you kind of get into the weeds a little bit talking about L2s also, but the fee share, according to this blog, he said has collapsed from around 60% down to around 12% for layer ones. And it's the apps they're really making all of the fees and therefore that are undervalued. So your question earlier about are we going to see these apps start getting like capital injection like we saw crypto? I think that's a pretty good educated guess according to all of these discussions that have been going on. So I just wanted to throw that in there and see what you guys thought about that. If you've seen it, I saw a thumbs up, I think from Funky. So seems like you did.
I did, and I think like it's about time. Like this seems so obvious to me that there should be more value accrual to the apps. Like people talk about some of the disdain for Web 2 in the Web 2 app world is the fact that Apple has a 30% tax on their app store. And why would we run back the same model? Like why the apps, I'm not going to say it's egregious, distribution obviously matters, but let's keep it real. No blockchain, not Ethereum, not Solana, no blockchain, none. All of them combined don't have the distribution as does the App Store. So why wouldn't the apps be the ones that are driving? They're the ones bringing users, like especially in a world where I'm not saying blockchains have been commoditized, but L2s have been commoditized. I'm a ETH bull. I think the security is real. I think it matters. Bitcoin is always going to be, granddaddy Bitcoin, and it from a store of value, it makes sense. Solana they've got the DJ and casino market, but even that's not on lockdown. And you think about just play out what's happened, or if Polymarket does in fact move to their own blockchain, what is Polygon have? I know that's not it, but in a very competitive world where block space is not a great product, it's got product market fit. There's becoming virtually no moat, and by itself, I think it would lead us slow, or in some cases maybe a fast death. Like it just makes sense that more value accrual, more funding would flow to the apps. Like it's the apps which are going to bring the people. It's not. No one's like, oh my goodness, I can't go wait to check this thing out because it's on chain. Except for those of us already here, no one else cares. They just want a fun app. They just want an app that works. They just want an app.
Well, and outside Bitcoin, app block space is cheap, really cheap outside Bitcoin. So when you've got super cheap and all kinds of it, of course the demand is like way, way, way down. So yeah, things are definitely out of whack. I think everybody can recognize whether they are fully on board with this, L1s are entirely dead or L2s are entirely dead. Because that's a little extreme.
Yeah, I don't think they're entirely dead. I just think that the ones that don't at least make an effort to this, they're going to die. Like if you don't think about it. Do we think there's never going to be another blockchain launch? We know there's some coming online in 2026. There's going to be more blockchains. The ones there are going to keep getting, that already exist, are going to get better, presumably. What are you doing without a killer dApp? Like where are you putting these hundreds of $1 millions into? I don't understand it. What is Monad doing with the $400 million they raised? Seriously, it's a serious question. I don't know. I know it's not free to create a blockchain. I know they've got great savvy investors, and there's a good chance that they sustain and they're still relevant in a few years because they have so much money. Why aren't they building their own dApps? I don't get it. I truly don't understand. I need someone to educate me why Monad doesn't have a division that is their in-house labs or building novel dApps. I don't understand it. For the life of me, I can't understand why these blockchains look at just external third parties to build dApps, and then why would they stay on your chain, especially after the rewards in? Another announcement fly over here, not fly, it shouldn't be flyover. We did talk about it with Joey on the stage. BZ went multi-chain. BZ fun dApp playing in the RWA space, generating some real traction. They launched on Blast. They left Blast when Blast just fumbled their TGE in subsequent months. They went to Flow, still on Flow, not leaving Flow, but going multi-chain with Base. Users aren't going to go to Flow because of fill in the metrics. Whatever, talk about whatever features you want to talk about. It's not going to attract any users. What we talked about last week is facts tell, story sell. What's your story? Well, it's really hard to tell a story about blockchain specs. Much easier to tell a story about a fun new dApp that's better because it's on chain. Why aren't they building their own? I don't get it. Husker GM, saw you fly up here. What brought you up this morning?
Hey, good morning, Cap, and everyone. I just hadn't been able to jump up with you since Steve left, so I just really wanted to come up, enjoy the Christmas season. Shout out to another little pudgy, I don't think he's up here, but woke up this morning and ST McFly is like our pudgy AI expert, and he made like an AI song for me overnight, so listen to that, and
sorry that does really roll into the Web3, block space kind of, going down and stuff like that. But, it's always good to show some appreciation out there this morning.
Heck yeah, no, good shout out. And yeah, love the and then it is part of the fun about crypto Web3 is there are so many. We talked about the people, talked a lot about it on Funky's show, but it is just the genuine, good-natured, caring people who often do things without any expectations of something in return. Also, Payne on Fire in the chat says it is hard to build a high-level DApp or see more. I agree, very hard. Apparently, a lot harder than it is to build a blockchain. Herein lies the opportunity. Also, he did catch the. So I wasn't able to get to the gym this morning, so I did not do my early morning pre-workout. I did go to the coffee first, and then quickly realized I needed. I'm probably going to drink a second one of these or some more coffee. This has 180 milligrams of caffeine. It's just not quite. I'm still a little shy of my morning caffeine intake, so we'll see how the show goes. We may go back for a second, or maybe a second cup of coffee. We'll see. Second pot of coffee, I should say. You mentioned holidays, so we're gonna weave back and forth here. We will get back to the L2 conversation. I promise we will get to. We will get to. I don't know if there's more to talk about punks in the moment, but if anyone wants to dive deeper into that, we can. Same with the Fed conversation. The blind box debate is probably. I think that's a good back and forth conversation. I'm curious to get some other takes on it. I also pinned up top because Husker mentioned the holidays. So some homework for y'all today. I pinned a post of Farouk's up top. He was talking about holiday videos. So we got holiday season. We got some people off or out of work this time of year, and looking to if you're not trading perps like me, looking for some less volatile holiday fun. I am curious: are there holiday movies not listed here? Because The Holiday was one I was not familiar with. Actually, a lot of A-list actors in it. I don't know how I missed it, but familiar with Home Alone, Harry Potter, Love Actually, and Elf. Die Hard, it was a big favorite in this chat. But yeah, any holiday movies that might be a under the radar holiday movie, I am soliciting new watches for the week and open to recommendations there, as well as your best Florida man story. Go ahead, Funky.
Gremlins. I was so highly disappointed that more people do not recognize Gremlins as a Christmas movie. It's set during Christmas. It was like me, Benny, and like one other rando that like under Farouk's thing recommended Gremlins. Can't beat Gremlins at Christmas. It's one of my favorites. Speaking of the Florida Man story, I will share mine because I did not get to share it earlier. My favorite one from my birthday when I first Googled this a long time ago was some dude tried to, those big like human size inflatable hamster wheel balls that people can like go in and like run in.
Oh yeah.
He tried to cross from Key West to Cuba. That thing. And then because you live in St. Pete, my favorite one from St. Pete, and this was probably when I was in college, so I don't know, like 20-ish years ago. There was a dude who broke into, I don't know if the hamburger joint, the Chataway, is still there, but he broke into the Chataway and basically stripped down naked and like ate soup and played bongos, and they caught all of it on like the security camera. So it's like that creepy looking inverse, like where his eyes are glowing and stuff like that. And they got all sorts of footage of him inside the restaurant. Those are two of my favorite Florida Man stories.
Some good ones, and I'm guessing the guy did not make it to Cuba. In his
no, they went and like dragged him back. Like I don't think he got very far.
Osiris says, Turbo Man, the legendary movie. Not familiar with that one. I have seen Gremlins, but it's been forever, and I'm betting there's a lot of people in the chat that have never watched that. It was a 1984 movie.
Yes, and fun fact: Gremlins. This is a little movie history lore. Is the movie that caused the uproar and created the first PG-13 movie, because Gremlins, when it was released, was PG. And if you go back and watch it, it is violent. It is not like a PG movie. And there was so much of a stir. And I think it was released in July of '84, even though it has a Christmas setting. And it caused such an uproar in the community. And the very first movie that got slapped with the PG-13 label was Red Dawn, which had a lot of famous 80s stars. And I'm sure you're a fan of Red Dawn,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
great.
because I know you and I are pretty close in age.
Great movie.
And Red Dawn is amazing, right? So yeah, that was the first one to get the PG-13 rating, but it was Gremlins that caused the oh my gosh, we need a rating between PG and R that's going to better, you know, let parents know what they're about to share with their kids. But yeah, it was Gremlins was the one that
I did
started
not.
that.
I remember there being some controversy around. I did not remember that. Quick Google search, the AI overview told me that. I reading the AI overview. I don't remember this as part of the movie. It's been probably 3 or more decades since I've watched it. They probably wouldn't even be released today. Reading the overview, I'm just going to read it. I'm quoting Gemini's AI overview. It says Gremlins 1984 was controversial for its intense, dark violence and mature themes in a Christmas movie context, leading to the creation of PG-13 rating, but also for the alleged racial stereotypes, particularly depicting African Americans through chaotic, loud, and destructive gremlin behavior like breakdancing, eating fried chicken, and wearing sunglasses, contrasting with the cute, obedient, Asian coded Gizmo. I also didn't realize Gizmo was Asian coded. Gizmo, cute character, all time cute character. In fact, kind of surprised we didn't see a Gizmo NFT collection back in the Mania. Well, maybe we did, and I just missed it. But Gizmo would have been should have been a cook during the NFT bowl. But yeah, I did not remember that movie like that at all. Wonder if it even gets sees the light of day in today's age. But 80s were a different time for sure, and yeah, it's wild because again, I remember it being like a horror movie. It's wild to think that got released as PG-13 or PG. Got wild to think it got released as PG, deserving of the PG-13 rating from maybe R from what I can remember. That said, we are, if you're just joining us now in the chat, a quick reset here. We are accepting your favorite Christmas movie. We're also we got a few over in the abstract chat. Die Hard, Gremlins was amazing. Jingle All the Way by Schwarzenegger. I'm not sure if I saw that. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yes, that is a classic. Diego says Muay. I don't know if that's a movie or some Spanish word I'm not familiar with yet. My Florida Man stuff is good. The other news, thanks for that. We did one other news item we will hit on. Diablito mentioned Rec Drinks not only made an appearance in Columbus, Ohio at Giant Eagle, rewards are going live from the physical stores in January. I'm not sure if we have full details on that, but I will do some digging and see if we can get some answers here in a bit. And we'll circle back to that one. Go ahead, Husker, whichever direction you'd like.
Oh yeah, I was just also going to give a shout out this morning to Infinex. Got like one of those crates that I opened a raffle ticket for, and actually got a patron yesterday.
Oh wow!
But actually, yeah, I know it was actually like, oh sweet. I saw the tweet literally by accident because they just put Husker in there, but they didn't actually tag me, so I saw it completely by accident. Logged on, and actually I just refreshed Infinex, and it just dropped into my wallet. So that's a nice.
Heck yeah, man.
And then, yeah, dude. The other thing I was going to say, I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger mentioned. What was the show or the movie he did back in the 90s? I think it was like with Turbo Man. What was that called? Anyone remember?
I mean, so Osiris says Turbo Man is a legend. Is the movie Turbo Man? I'm not familiar with it.
No, it's about a movie where he's like a dad. He's trying to get like this. It's like the gift of the winter for his kids, and he's like
Jingle
fighting.
All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Is that what you actually mentioned beforehand? I just didn't put two and two together. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one.
I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
It is absolutely worth like watching. Like go out and watch it. I think he's actually estranged from his wife or something like that, and he's trying to like compete with the stepdad or something like that. So it's definitely a good watch.
So Diego follows up. Muay was the real name of Gizmo on Gremlins. I did not know that. And Diablito adds, I'd call Gremlins a comedy. Not sure I would call it a comedy, but I guess it was entertaining. If you have not checked I know we're jumping all around this morning, but I'll like some fun, some humor, some holiday goodness, as well as actionable alpha here. If you've not checked Infinex, go do it. They did a Monad-esque CT Mafia. If you've got I would say even and I don't mean this as offense. Please don't take offense if you're not included. If you have a decent size CT account, I don't know the threshold. I don't know where they cut it off at. I don't know how they calculated it. It's worth going and checking. I was not aware until I saw that same. They actually tagged me in it, and I was like, why is Kane from Infinex tagging me in a post? And it was because I had not went and claimed my 50 crates. So I did that, opened 50 crates, and it is kind of unique. It's essentially a digital blind box. You're opening these crates and you're pulling commons, uncommons, rares, epics, or mythics. You could pull a Infinex patron, which is, what is it, trading at like 1.5 ish floor? Is that right?
Yeah, it's at $4,500, whatever that equates
Sheesh.
to in ETH.
That's my crate.
Yeah, 1.47.
That's amazing, man. Congrats. My crate pulls were valued at slightly less, about $243. But I did pull a mythic and a couple of epics. And what those do, like the mythic is I can buy 5,000 INX tokens at 3 cents. One of the epics was it was less amount. I think it was 500. I could buy it like 0.00001, so really cheap, like basically a for all intents and purposes a guaranteed profitable flip should I choose to do so. And I think that was mostly I definitely did not pull a patron. I think mine was basically I can different token amounts I could buy at different price points, presumably lower than their opening market cap or opening price. Go ahead, Husker.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I'm looking at mine right now, and I'm not going to lie. Like, I think you guys were talking about physical boxes and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually a fan of like the way that Infinex did their digital box. Quite honestly, just me. I mean, also probably helps that I won and whatnot, but also the fact of just it is kind of nice being able to buy, their token at like I don't know what you want to call it, but a cheaper amount. I got like one where I can buy like 5 or 50,000 tokens at like 1/1,000,000th or something like that, or 1/1,000th of a cent essentially. So I don't know.
Not bad.
Definitely gonna have to buy for that. So
yeah, man, congrats again on pulling the patron. That is a nice holiday score there. A lot of gremlins love in the chat, and also some FUD on base app. Machiavelli adds Gremlins actually has a holiday Jack in the Box meal out right now in Other Side. I kid, I added the in Other Side part, but apparently they have a holiday Jack in the Box meal out right now. Good timing there. If you've not watched Gremlins, it's worth a watch. Also, not necessarily holiday related, but it is going to happen over the holidays, I guess. Let me find the exact date. On January. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not even over the holidays. It's in January. I thought I read it wrong. I read December 23rd when I first saw it. If you are familiar with, man, now I'm drawing a blank. Alex Honnold, he already has one documentary out. I think it's called Free. If anyone's familiar, he's a free climber. I should save this for tomorrow when Outer Lumen joins us, because she would know all the rock climbing wall that I'm not, or the verbiage that I'm not familiar with.
Are you talking about Free Solo?
Free Solo, yes. Thank you. That's exactly it. So Alex, Free Solo is I don't know how to describe it. I can't remember last time I watched a movie or documentary and had anxiety throughout the duration. I have a fear of heights. I don't have a fear of heights, but that's something I have no desire to do. So apparently I do have a fear of heights at some point. But anyways, this guy free climbs, meaning climbs with no ropes. He did El Capitan in Yosemite. He's done several others. And on the pin post up top over this weekend, he announced he's going to be free soloing Taipei 101 in Taiwan live on Netflix, Friday, January 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's been a long time goal of mine. It'll be the most ambitious urban climb that I've attempted. It's nearly a 1,700-foot tower. What's not to like? And I'll be doing it live on Netflix. Tune in Friday. So yeah, he's climbing this thing with no ropes, no gear. I just can't even, zero desire to ever even think about attempting something like that. But It is a if you're looking for if you have too many Christmas movies in your Netflix, you're looking for a hard pivot, go watch Free Solo this weekend, and that'll get the blood flowing. Maybe Psycho Kitty adds Scrooged, funniest Christmas movie ever. I also somewhere heard someone say Groundhog Day as a Christmas movie. I never viewed Groundhog Day as a Christmas movie. Am I off on that?
In the winter, maybe that's why. But I don't think it's really Christmassy. I love it. It's a great movie. Did you, Cap? Do you remember the one? Who is the family in Florida? I think they're from Florida. That were the high wire walkers. Do you remember when like the main guy, like crossed the Grand Canyon on a wire?
I don't remember this one.
When you talked about like heights, because I'm the same. Like, no, not Evil Knievel. Like my wife was saying, Evil Knievel. He jumped it, but no, there was. It's a family of them. They're very famous, like high wire walkers. I think their last name even starts with a W, and it was on Fox. It was live. Like I remember back in the day, and he crossed the Grand Canyon. And
Funky,
it
this
was
has to be somewhat like new because or not new, but like in my time zone, like I'm 37, so not exactly new. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same family. If you remember the famous picture of the guy like walking across like the skyscrapers in New York, it's that same family.
yes.
Nick Walenda? Is that it or no?
Walinda, that's it. I knew it started with a W. Walinda, yeah. And I think on live on Fox, he crossed the Grand Canyon, but it was, I don't know, 10 or more years ago. It was a long time ago. But
Yes.
that was nerve wracking.
Skywire Live on Discovery Channel aired, looks like June of 2013. So yeah, your timing's pretty close. Yeah, I did not see that one. Free Solo is a good movie. It's just like be prepared to have if stuff like that like makes you nervous. There's very few breaks in the show. Like it's just anxiety inducing is the only way I know how to describe it. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely go watch Free Solo and also go back to the Christmas movies. Let us know what else we should be watching. A lot of good suggestions in the chat. And while we're on the topic of, I mentioned Outer Lumen and her rock climbing skills. Tuesday's reminder links up top. Go smash that if you haven't done so yet. The carousel is no longer a thing, at least not how the form we know and love it. So we're going to be posting those onesie twosies throughout the week. Appreciate all the love on those in advance. Diego, big pull on his Infinex crates. Where I mentioned I got the 0.0001. Mine was I could buy 500 at that price. Diego pulls same price, but instead of 500, he has the right to buy 50,000 tokens at that price. And at current, like I guess probably they're using pre-market value, I'm guessing, puts his crate pull at 10x mine, $2,500. So Diego found $2,500. Husker found over $4,500. It's worth going and checking Infinex to see if you have some crates there. And if so, go redeem your crates for sure. And Diego had 20 crates. So I had 50 crates open. Husker, how many crates did you get open?
I got 51 crates because I can't remember what it all was, but I've been using Infinex for a hot minute. So I think I got like one of the beta users.
Okay.
But the same thing that Diego got, I also got that same 50,000 draw too. So Infinex has been doing quite nicely for me.
Dude, so you just on those two alone, you're like probably like $7,000-ish on crate pools?
Yeah.
That'll get and trying to think how I can word this without sounding like pay me. Like you want to get CT talking about you, do stuff like this. Do something different. Now, is awarding airdrops new and unique? No, but this is a new method. As far as I know, it's first I've seen this where they took what Monad did and they're making it better. It's different. It's novel. Monad just said, hey, go pick a card, and depending on what tier you fall in, that's how many tokens you get. Here, I'm assuming, this is assumptions, something to do with their formula is probably something to do with how they view your CT profile, as well as how much you've been using their wallet, their app. And then instead of just giving you, here's the tokens you can go claim, it's different levels like this. Like, yeah, you can go claim 50,000. You got to buy them at 1/100th of a penny. If they end up trading at 5 cents, that's a big W. And it's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to get buy volume instead of just claim and sell volume. Maybe this doesn't work. I appreciate them doing something different. And I know Kane rubbed some people kind of the wrong way for different reasons, but I like this. This is different. It doesn't need, like, you don't have to, oh, this is silly. This is just another way to reskin a Ponzi. You could have whatever opinion you want about it. You're entitled to that. My point is, it's different, and I appreciate them doing something different. And clearly, yes, Diego and Husker are going to be big fans because they had big wins. Mine is a fraction of what I won from Monad, but I still appreciate them taking a different approach to this. And oh, by the way, when we're talking blockchains versus dApps, this is a, it's not just relying on a chain. It's a new kind of wallet designed to defrag your crypto life, passkey first. The only wallet I know I can log into with my fingerprint, which is pretty cool. There's other ways to log in, obviously, but when I first set up my account, it should just be Infinex. I'll tag it in the chat. INFINEX, Dwayne. That's where the crazy stuff is. It should be in, if you click through, I think I posted mine up top. I'll go pin it as well. If you don't see, yeah, I didn't pin mine. I'll go pin mine now for those looking for the official Infinex account. Click through and see if you want anything. It's worth checking. Maybe there's nothing there. Don't get upset with me if you're not eligible to claim anything, but I think worth checking out. Let's do this. That now is pinned up top, and we don't have to stop talking about Infinex and create claims. If anyone else wants to take a victory lap, by all means, feel free to do so. Funky Dwayne says flying Walindas. I don't know if that's a Gremlins reference or something else.
No, that was ones that cross the famous.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Zombie Rob adds Office Christmas Party Friday After Next and the night before. I don't know if that's a movie or it's actual an Office Christmas Party. This is where my brain's at this morning. I definitely need more.
Oh, Friday After Next is hilarious. So that's how we met Cat Williams.
Okay, really? I did not know that. Today I learned. So I will check. Go ahead, Funky, get in here.
No, I just didn't know that that's where Cat Williams came from. I love Cat Williams, so I just was shocked to hear that.
Yes.
Is that where the scene where he like comes to the door and he like stays behind the like they're gonna arrest him? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was one of his first major debut in film. He was already doing comedy for a long time, but Friday After Next it was really a Christmas movie as well.
One segue here before we move on to probably dive into the blind box discussion next. If you did not see your Coffee with Captain newsletter over the weekend, what are you doing? Go ahead there right now, coffeewithcaptain.beehive.com. You can see the full article, the Coffee with Captain Weekly, as well as subscribe. We don't spam you. You get one a week on Saturday mornings, and there'll be links to all the shows, all the recordings for the prior week, as well as some not a straight recap, but some other nuggets and a pool. This week's pool: stablecoins go mainstream win, and similar to last week, we had an overwhelming winner. The banks adopt them is the masses. The majority think that's when stablecoins go mainstream. Merchants accept them directly at 9%. Compliance becomes simple at 9%. Paying is effortless at 9%, but banks adopting them at 72.7%. Runaway winner there. Again, go check out the full article at Coffee with Captain. You can go to coffeewithcaptain.com and click through, or coffeewithcaptain.beehive, BEEHIIV.com. That's linked in that post as well. So I fly over headlines, and then we are going to dive into this blind box discussion. Strategy just increased its USD reserves by 748 million and now holds 2.19 billion, along with 671,000 Bitcoin. So over 2 billion in their stable reserves. Zonko says Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie. I've never viewed it like that, but I think you probably did take place around the holiday season. Different kind of Different kind of holiday movie there, but a good one. Some say it's a real life Hollywood documentary. I won't. I'm not going to comment on that this morning, but probably not too far off from the truth now that we know about Diddy and all the Epstein files and all that good stuff. We're not going to have an Epstein files segment here, but word on the street is redacted was the leading thing that was disclosed or came to life in the Epstein file release. In all seriousness, can't speak. I need more coffee. The conversation, I really am curious. I want to have this debate. We had the Klanos team and Nobody's Sausage on last week. Got a Nobody's Sausage box, going to give one away as well. And actually, I have a few things. I'm going to kind of rapid fire pin post because I want to come back to Loki's tweet as well. I think it ties into this. But the conversation that struck me, well, as it relates to Nobody's Sausage, didn't just do a blind box. They had some other announcements, including they partnered with Other Side and ApeCoin to bring you Other Side in-game sausage skin. Who doesn't want a sausage skin? Each blind box contains an NFC chip that will be redeemable in Nexus Portal. That was following a post from Nobody Sauce that said each blind box unlocks experiences and rewards that evolve over time in perpetuity. This is how you do Web3. This is how you do crypto. Don't just sell us an overpriced toy vinyl. I'm not taking shots, but I'm going to take some shots. Spencer, if you're listening to this, I mean no offense by this, but you make it easy because all we know so far is the Burb blind box was you got your vinyl, your Burb vinyl, and those ship. I haven't got mine yet, but I hear high quality. And there is, I don't know if they said for sure you get Burb allocation. That is the speculation. If there is no Burb allocation, the people might riot. But I think, and especially if you see the corresponding data, apparently many people, 94% at this point, bought those vinyls, either a single or a 12-pack solely for Burb allocation, because only 6% have been claimed at this point. That's wild. I did not expect to see such a low number. Like 50% was in my head. Like, I'll probably half of these get claimed. 6% is wild. So I quote tweeted Sergito's post on this, stating 6% redeemed is crazier than the secondary price action, although 17 steps to claim via collector crypt might be the worst UI UX yet. I said that earlier. Crypto blind boxes about on their last loop. If you're planning to drop one in Q4, Q1 pivot, or if you're going to, by the way, if we've seen this meme often in crypto, I'm not sure if everyone realizes that this concept, this euthanasian coaster, it is a steel roller coaster designed to kill its passengers. You heard that right. This meme that we always talk about in whether it was L1s or dApps or pump fund or meme coin launch pads or blind boxes. The first time it's new, it's big and it runs way up. The second time it runs up about half that and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. The people who keep buying into these metas of the day, of the week, of the month, usually go bust. Unfortunately, it's not going to kill you here. But the 7 loops or inversions put the body under such stress that causes the brain to be starved of oxygen, as the heart simply cannot push blood against the enormous G forces. Even if it kills you, it's designed to still be a fun death, an honorable thought. So again, little dark, blame Gremlins and horror movies on Christmas for my dark conversation this morning. But here is the real data behind this. This is what Sergio, now maybe this could have changed. This was yesterday morning. It says, do Web3 people actually want physical blind boxes absent financial incentives? The data says not really. 6% of the Burb boxes have been redeemed. Flog boxes at $4. The mint was $25. I still think that's probably a financial W for those minters, assuming they flip the Flog NFT they got with it. Even if they haven't flipped it yet, it's worth more than $25, I believe.
The Flog was not $4.
No, but the mint was $25. The boxes are currently trading at $4 on secondary.
Oh, oh shit.
Yeah. Nuco boxes are trading at $36. That was a $99 mint. The sausage boxes have totaled 25K so far. Nobody sausage, that is. And then this is probably maybe one of the most shocking is the Pudgy Care Bear blind box is still available 9 days later and only 2,500 supplies. That's not sold out. And Pudgies are like, I can't remember last time they didn't have not only a sellout, but usually they're drop sellout instantly. So if you're looking for a sign that the blind boxes have lost some motion, here's 5 signs. Now I want to go back to Nobody Sausage because I do believe they did it right. Early to tell. Nobody wants, I should say, very few people using this data. 94% of the people here do not want a toy vinyl. Most of us are middle-aged men. By the data, there's some middle-aged women here as well. There's also some Zoomers and some alphas, Gen Alphas, but a lot of people here are, I'd say the range is like 25 to 50. And some of us has kids, yes. So there is a demographic there that might like your toys. I don't care. I'm not going to Jack in the Box to buy a Gremlin toy. I'm not. McDonald's could have the coolest IP ever. I'm not going to go buy a Happy Meal. I can care less. If I someone joked about me, I go, what am I supposed to do with 12 Burb vinyls? So I couldn't split them. I had to claim redeem all 12. And someone said, "Oh, toys for Duke." You're probably right. Now they'll last about 0.5 seconds before to give you an idea. Like Duke's Jaws, a tennis ball, a real tennis ball, he tore it to shreds in less than a minute. He's got crazy bite strength and poked a hole in it and then tore it apart. I had to take it out so he didn't eat the thing. Yeah, I could give him a vinyl toy that probably lasts him it'd be fun for a few seconds until he tore it to shreds. Sergito says, not funny, rather documenting this moment in time. Web3 participants are exhibiting low real demand for these types of products. This can be an opportunity as well. I'm keen to see where things are a year from now and whether Web3 IP can truly penetrate the broader demand for physical blind boxes in the world. I'll see if I can find my comment here because I am not seeing it. Not important enough to show on the comments. I said no. They are not wanting to buy things if there's no financial incentive, especially if there's no utility. It doesn't have to be token allocation, but do something like what Nobody Sausage is doing. The part of the beauty of doing something in crypto here, I said, sans financial incentives, why would a bunch of middle-aged men want a collectible of brand new IP when they can pay a fraction of the price and buy a collectible from established IP? Whether your IP of choice is Star Wars or Harry Potter or fill in the blank, Pokemon, I think you'd be hard pressed to find any of those, that established IP that's been around for decades, that has real collectible value beyond just our niche corner of the internet. I think you'd be hard pressed to find any of those selling blind boxes for $100 or more. I'm not saying that these Web3 brands are grifting. They should be trying to sell products. They should be driving profitable revenue. The reality is most, not all, most is simply overpriced and they're selling to the same group of customers, their hoarder base. Most not giving any rewards, no discounts, no loyalty rewards. They're just saying, hey, come buy this thing for $25 to $150 and have a toy that you can set on a shelf. Honestly, I know some have kids, maybe they play with this stuff. Most, it's just one other thing that can put on a live stream behind them. Maybe I know there are some people who really want to collect this stuff. I'm saying most people here don't care. We're not collecting toys. And it's fine if you are. It's just not the demographic that they think it is. Or they're just prying on their holders buying things because they think there might be something on the come. Well, what happens if there's nothing on the come? Then you're alienating your collector base.
Yo, Cap, sorry to interrupt, but so for Sergito's information, did that just come off of Collector Crypt? Because I know 223 handled the Web 2 side of Nobody Sausage, and they had a major push through their Instagram and their TikTok channels.
Yeah, I think that's why Nobody Sausage did it right, is because they did push out to other channels. I would love to see, maybe we never know, I would love to know how many of those that were sold via credit card, came from Instagram or TikTok. Like Nobody Sausage has millions of followers outside of this space. They promoted the blind box outside of this space with no mention of crypto. But guess what? They've already said there's going to be crypto rewards coming. There's going to be someone that followed Nobody Sausage on IP or on IG or TikTok because they liked the IP. They found their memes funny. They bought a blind box, and they're going to find themselves in Other Side a month from now with the sausage skin because they love the IP.
I'm that somebody, Cap.
This is how you do it. This is how you put something on chain, make it better than the blind box that's off chain, and partner and collaborate with other builders that are here. I'm not saying everyone has to collaborate with Other Side or put your avatars on Other Side, but oh, by the way, relative to this, in newsworthy, Netflix acquired Ready Player Me, a digital avatar creator that can go across different games. Sound familiar? Like Netflix basically making their counter to the Amazon partnership with Other Side is how I read that. And I don't know what's coming of it, but my point is, like, think about Pudgy and Care Bears. Maybe there's some abstract allocation there. I guarantee those 25 would be 100 would be sold out if they shared that. People like, and Pudgy's like, for all intents and purposes, Pudgy's the best of the best in terms of proliferation of their crypto native IP. They really have got it out there. Whether it's gifts or toys, like they have had real success. This Care Bears collaboration shows me that outside of the Web3 degens, no one cares. It's like they've had real success proliferating the IP from our perspective. Even though people, my normie friends, will still share the Pudgy Penguin gifts, it's because they have a great gift team that does a good job creating gifts. And but it's not like people aren't saying, oh my God, I got to go own one of these penguin toys. It's really hard to build sustainable IP, and it takes decades to make. So again, if you're going to sell blind boxes, take the approach of Sausage Box, of the Nobody Sausage blind box. Sell to your non-Web3 customers. Your Web3 customers can have a chance to buy them as well. They may be the ones to participate. The best thing I like about the Nobody Sausage announcement is it's not just the Other Side collaboration. I'm going to reread their announcement again. Oh shoot, 8 minutes ago. So you've got 1 hour left to grab your blind box if you've not yet done that. We will be giving away at least one here on the show later this week, but I'll pin this link up top. As I FUD blind boxes, I'm also going to pump blind boxes, encourage you all to go get one, because don't go buy one with expectations of rewards. Go buy one to support someone who, in my opinion, is doing it right. Mainly because they are shipping physical good. They're marketing it to non-Web3, non-crypto people, not talking about crypto, not talking about Web3, and they're using it as a Trojan horse to bring people on chain. They're using it as a Trojan horse to bring people on chain. How are they doing that? Well, each blind box unlocks experiences and rewards that evolve over time in perpetuity, as it should be. You want me to go get a blind box? Put those buzzwords in there, because it's not buzzwords if you follow through on it. If you actually program against the technology, if you actually reward those collectors. Now, will those rewards ever equal to or exceed what you pay for the blind box? Maybe not. I don't really care. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate trying to do something new as opposed to just selling this blind box for 4 times the amount because you have a crypto native audience. Nobody wants that. You could dangle a token if you want, and you'll sell through a bunch, and then no one will claim them because they just want the token. If you really want your IP out in the wild, put an NFC chip in it. Like, again, I don't know if this is Nobody Sausage brainchild. I don't know if this is the Klano/Hibu team, and they're the ones behind this. This is how it should be done. I'm not just glazing because we had them on the show. They're doing things the right way. Why in the world would you sell a $25 to $150 blind box, be coming from a crypto native brand, and not include the tech? Why would you not have a digital counterpart or digital twin, a code, something that you can track those customers forever? It just seems so obvious to me. So this is the article that came out. The experience doesn't stop when the box is open. While most brands focus solely on the product itself, We think the experience comes after purchase matters just as much. That's where NFC tech comes in. Each Nobody Sausage collectible comes embedded with an NFC chip. When you tap the collectible, you unlock a certificate of authenticity tied directly to that item. It's yours, it's unique, and it's soul bound to the holder, creating a one-to-one relationship that can't be replicated through email lists, QR codes, or traditional loyalty programs. I'm going to read this again. When you tap the collectible, you unlock a certificate of authenticity tied directly to that item. It's yours, it's unique, and it's soul bound to the holder, creating a one-to-one relationship that can't be replicated through email lists, QR codes, or traditional loyalty programs. It's just better. But the real power isn't the first tap. It's everything that comes after. The NFC chip is updatable forever. If Nobody Sausage wants to reward early collectors a year from now, they can. If there's access to an event, a drop, a perk, or something completely unexpected, it can be delivered directly through the collectible you already own. If Collector Crypt or other partners associated with the drop want to activate value, the same touch point works. NFCs are a direct, permanent line between the brand and its collectors. We've already seen how powerful the model can be across 223 ecosystem drops. Some examples are Chimper Series 1. NFC holders unlock rewards on ApeChain and more. Mino Games, starter cats give collectors in-game perks that evolve. Honky and Rip and Dip upcoming drop will be minted on base with additional perks rolling out over time. Every brand and audience is different. The NFC experience is designed to reflect that. It also creates one of the most natural bridges we've seen from Web 2 to Web 3. I read it wrong, so I'm going to read it again. It also creates one of the most natural bridges from Web 2 to Web 3 we've seen. Someone can buy a Nobody Sausage collectible from Instagram, TikTok, or retail with zero crypto knowledge. They're not entering Web 3. They're just buying something they love. And yet, through NFC, they're able to interact with on-chain features, rewards, and ownership without ever feeling the friction. In retail, that becomes even more powerful. A collectible might look like a toy from the outside, but inside it holds access, rewards, and surprises and upside. That reminds me, that sounds like the NFT dream from 2122. And yet, for some reason now, a lot of these NFT founders and teams are saying, oh, this is just a collectible piece of art. Well, screw you, because that's not what you told us. I don't care if you checked all your roadmap items. Like, don't give up. Keep using the tech. There's going to be another meta at some point. Maybe it is blind boxes with actual rewards in perpetuity. For some buyers, the hidden potential becomes part of the excitement. For others, it's simply a bonus they discover later. Let's use a Web 2 comparison. Labubu's started this blind box meta. There's also a lot of fake Labubu's in the world. This is not hyperbole. Blockchain tech fixes that. Labubu would not have the issue nearly as wide and rampant as they do with knockoff Labubu's had they followed this Nobody Sausage model. And because this is Nobody Sausage's first ever blind box series, they mark a moment in the brand's history, and early holders are recorded as part of that first chapter. And that's ultimately what we're building at 223, collectibles that stay relevant and evolve alongside the brands behind them and deepening the relationship with people who own them. The Nobody Sausage drop is available for 24 more hours. Be sure to check it out here. Let's go Funky and then back to Machiavelli.
Just wanted to say, Cap, thanks for letting me up. Been great conversation and hanging out with you guys. I do have a meeting coming up at 9:30 that I got to get ready for. So hope everybody else has a great day. I'm going to step down.
Appreciate you joining us. Pleasure as always. Thanks for tuning in. And I pinned our conversation up Friday. If anyone wants to hear the longest rant ever to a tell me about your background. How'd you get here? I'm not an exaggeration. I think I probably talked without a breath for like 30 minutes. What's the over under? Was it 30 minutes? Maybe a little less?
About that, but you answered like 5 questions I was going to ask, so I just rolled with it.
It was the closest. Like we used to joke on here, I could ask Steve, "Do you like water?" and he could rant for 10 minutes about whether he likes water or not. I pulled a Steve when asked to talk about my background, and that was basically the interview because I answered the next 6 questions Funky was going to ask me. I've done that once or twice before, but it's been a while, and so I puked the intro. But really, truly did enjoy the conversation. Thanks so much for hosting. Thanks for having me. If you haven't checked out Funky Fridays, it's a good listen, bringing on some builders. That's kind of refreshing where you get to talk about not necessarily markets and crypto and this market opening dump, which by the way, we're back over 90K Bitcoin. It is now 924. So we're in watch mode. I'm in Germany. I'm checking in from Germany this morning. And I escaped the kidnappers that had me under lockdown on Friday. And we traversed the Atlantic. We're in Germany and we're going to be doing some live perp trading here on the show at some point in the next 36 minutes. Machiavelli, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say that I got to I helped bring this Nobody Sausage to the other side, and the other games team did, and we got to workshop with Andrew and them, and they're very forward thinking about when they were going to do this. Like when Andrew hit me up and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna do this blind box situation. Like, what do you guys think?" Like, I was like, "Yo, take that to the team." You know what I mean? Like that's a W all the way around. Like the way that they were thinking about presenting this, and like just to see it manifest in real time and see them execute is just a beautiful thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, because this was not native Web3 IP, and they're kind of like placed it out, and like what they got going with Hebrew and everything else that they have in the future. Like, I'm very bullish on that team and the way that they're executing. And some people can quote numbers and say, "Oh, well, this didn't do this well in Web 3 or da 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 da." But the fact is that they're executing on a high level. They really are thinking about conceptualizing the entire process and delivering it to the customer, and then having them come right back through. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't end with the blind box. And I just think that that's very, very important. That entire team is really just, progressive thinking, and they're a pleasure to work with too.
Well said. I agree. What can you explain? What is 223? How do they fit into this? Because Collector Crypt is the minting site, it's the redemption site. What and who is 223? I know they work with obviously the Hebrew team and Kleno's team.
Yeah, from my understanding, they're like a Web 2 distribution network through socials and stuff like that, where they distributing products and stuff. So, like, that's all. I'm not really familiar with them that much. I just knew that they were working the Web 2 side of it, and they pushed out all of the Twitter and Instagram marketing and stuff like that through those channels, and then through the crypto side, of course, Collector Crypt did it.
Appreciate that. That helps. Catching up on the chat here a bit. Marsh Mesh asks, what's the FUD on the base app? Primarily, it was regarding usernames. Opportunist claimed his base username a long time ago, and now is not able to claim it in the base app, is my understanding. Maybe they fix that in the future. I had to create a new, I don't think I actually ever claimed a base username, but I did have to create a new one when I logged in. I will go grab a ref link and pin that up top. If anyone's not, I would appreciate you hitting my ref link. If you're not in there yet, it would be appreciated, but no obligations. If someone wants to front run me and drop their ref link in the chat, you can do that. I'm just not going to pin yours. I'm going to pin mine. I told you I need some more degen funds, so we're going the ref link. Coffee with Captain will be sponsored by whichever online casino is willing to pay the most, starting first year. I kid, but not really. Odyssey trailer just released. Which Odyssey? Mesh? Fill in some gaps on that for me. I'm not sure which Odyssey trailer was released. If anyone knows, let me know. But yeah, the Nobody Sausage, again, I think they're doing it right. I know with the Burbs, there is allegedly token allocation coming. That's fine. Good. And maybe that's sufficient. But I doubt they probably also, I'm guessing after the sale, because it was a pre-sale, they probably did all the orders. I'm guessing they went and manufactured all these. And if let's say if it gets to like 10% redemption, 90% of these don't even ever get shipped out, and they're just like not great. Like I'm sure part of it is they want their IP in the wild, and I don't know. I don't know. Like, other than having, well, the best thing they could do now is say the only people that are getting an allocation are those that claim their blind box. That would do it. They get closer to 100%. They may do that. As far as I know, they haven't done that yet. The price points here we're back up over, we're 90,021, and we're 2 minutes away from 9:30. So I'm actively watching the clock here. The blind boxes for Nobody Sausage, you get a single box for $29. One collectible box, no one knows what's inside. You could go the 6 blind box pack. You get 6 plush collectibles with no repeats. They're all unique. And yes, your set may include an ultra rare, which will replace a common one. If there's a duplicate, they take it back and send you the missing collectible. And then if you go to 12 blind boxes, it's 2 sets of 6, and you're guaranteed to get at least one ultra rare collectible. Please note, duplicates will occur, however, but you're guaranteed to get the ultra rare collectible. No obligations to purchase. So if you think about the value that they're driving here, $29, you get a collectible plushie, a keychain plushie. Cool. Some people might rock that. Again, Nobody Sausage has millions of followers on IG, on TikTok, people that aren't crypto native that are buying this because they want the keychain. And then at minimum, you're getting an avatar on the other side for tapping your keychain when you get it. But that doesn't stop there. They've said those rewards will go on in perpetuity. This is their first blind box. There's a chance, I don't know what they're going to do. There's a chance the next blind box they do, you get one for free. You get one at half off. You get a 20%, you get free shipping. I don't know what they're going to do, but I really like the execution here. The only thing I would add is maybe, and this is minor, very, very, very minor, but maybe flip flop the buy with credit card, buy with crypto, lead with buy with crypto as opposed to credit card, or lead with buy with credit card as opposed to crypto. Probably really doesn't matter, but there might be, you might lose, I don't know, 10, 20% of the would-be buyers when they log in and they see the first thing is buy with crypto. They just still has somewhat of a poor reputation for some people out there. But again, of all the stuff, I'm being overcritical here. Dort says his crates expired from the CT Mafia drop. No idea if that's just me, but it seems like they could have waited on that. I would not give up there yet, Dort. I would maybe refresh, maybe DM the team, because I don't know. I understood Diego as he just claimed his this morning. Husker, when did you claim yours? Husker, if you're still with us.
I'm still with you. Sorry, I was answering a work email. What was the question?
When did you claim your Infinex crates?
Oh, I've claimed, like, I think it's been 3 separate occasions over the last month-ish.
When did you claim this last batch?
The last batch I claimed, I think, 72 hours ago.
Okay. I claimed mine on Friday as well. Diego, I'm curious if you can let us know in the chat when you claimed yours. I'd be curious. Dort's saying his expired. I didn't know that was a thing. All right. Moving on from blind boxes, I should probably update the title as well, but rooting for Nobody Sausage to sell a few more, and excited to see what those future rewards are. I think this is the way. Use the technology. Don't use the people here to sell them overpriced toys. I'm not saying everyone did that. I'm saying I have zero interest in buying a blind box for $100 that comes with nothing but a vinyl. Like, if I think there's going to be more than $100 of token allocation, I'll buy it. But again, unless I have to redeem it, I'm probably not redeeming it. It's just a trade. That's not sustainable. That's the roller coaster. That's what I was alluding to, is like the roller coaster of people buying these things on hype and speculation alone. That's not going to last. If you use the tech, use it to show authenticity, use it for ongoing rewards in activations, that's different. That's a step in the right direction. So if you are a team planning a blind box drop, you don't have to pivot, but I'd strongly encourage you to take a different approach and find a way to drive value, align value back to your holder base. I'm going to keep having that conversation, I feel. Checking my notes here. Blind box debate, Fed injecting billions. Not really sure. I don't really think it's. I'll actually use I haven't checked the war room. I'm probably gonna lose it here. It's funny. The first thing I see in the war room is cannot make this up. First, I open the war room. First thing I see is a vinyl burb, new coffee station companion. Feel like that's a direct shot at me. Oh, Zane adds Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey, has been released. It's in theaters July 17th. Excited for that one. It's the first time hearing about it, but a big Christopher Nolan fan. And this one looks good. There was also another one that, there was another trailer that just released recently that also looked rather exciting. Oh, it was the new Alien movie, Disclosure. Who's it's going to drive me nuts. Movies coming back, apparently. New movies, new IP. Just search film updates or Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Excited for that one. We got to wait till next summer, but that'd be a good July show. Thanks for. This show. I tell you guys, I learn more from the show than you learn from me sometimes, and I'm getting great upcoming movie education here this morning. To which Zane also adds, in his opinion, the Care Bear Pudgy collab just got eclipsed by other news. Right before it was Bear Brick collab sold fast, and right after was the Sphere news. Probably could have timed it better. Hard to keep up. It's fair, but also rare for pudgies to not have an instant sell out of anything they do. But you're right. There's a lot of headlines competing against one another during the same time period. I agree. Bad cadence comms coming from one of the better comm teams. Interesting. And we're at 9:35 and the dip has started. I missed maybe. We're down to 89,757. If we see it back above 90, I'm hitting the place order on the short. So we'll keep an eye on that. 89,790, 89,18, 89.49. Give me 90K so I can short this. Live. Steven Spielberg. Yes, thank you. Steven Spielberg's. Is it called Disclosure, Mason? So there's two things. There's the Steven Spielberg Disclosure, and then I've also been recommended. Someone must think I'm a conspiracy theorist or something, because there's apparently a new documentary on Amazon called Age of Disclosure, which is about, I think it's a $20 rental or $20 buy, but apparently it's like a lot of actual people with credentials and connections and actually work jobs where they would have privy to this information, but it talks about all the alien encounters and everything that's now finally being disclosed, and seemingly no one really cares about it. Like, aliens are upon us, and it's not in mainstream media. Yeah, Dort, I don't know, man. 10 crates expired. It is weird. If anyone else claimed recently, as in like over the weekend or today, let us know so we can tell Dort to keep Disclosure Day is what it's called. Thank you, Mason. Look at this chat coming through today. Now, if you can just give me 90K Bitcoin so I can short. I'm not shorting forever. I remain irrationally long, or irresponsibly long, I should say, not irrationally, irresponsibly long. But I will probably. I mean, I'm going to be opening the short and be closing it today. I just don't know when. If anyone can figure that time out for me as well, it would be great. Trade for Cap on Coffee with Captain today. We hit it on Friday in passing. I do want to go back to something we did fly over. I'm just making sure I don't hit any other really newsworthy topics today. As I'm looking for this post, go smash that reminder for Tuesday's show up top. And I'm actually going to go, we're going to pivot over to, it says, Dort, it says 2 days. Oh, sorry. It looks like you're out of luck. 4 days ago, they tweeted 2 days left to claim. Down bad. Hopefully we can get it on the next one. Because I don't think it's a one and done. I do think they continue to do those. So some calls for an NFT renaissance in 2026. It's in the year people can get excited about. A new year, new change of the guard, new things coming. Ethereum's finally tweeting about CryptoPunks. All it took was getting in the moment to do that. Looking at a few tweets here, but the one I'm looking for, I'm not finding. I want a second, I promise. He's a volume shooter, so bear with me, unless I'm just missing it. I know this isn't great. I didn't think it'd be this long to find. And we lost Machiavelli. I'd normally just kick it to him, and he'd fill in the gap. We had Cryptoys on the show. They launched their Disney collection on Abstract. Where is this? I'm gonna go back and start at the top. It was a good take. As I'm scrolling, there was an Azuki Spirit that just sold for 20 ETH. It says lowest ever, but it's fair given the Azuki floor is 0.7 and CryptoPunks are 27 ETH. He also referenced the announcement on Ready Player Me acquisition by Netflix. I think that's probably a big deal. And Anime pumped on some news over the weekend. I am completely lost this take I was going to share. Oh, because it was on 12/12. That's why. So it must have been retweeted. But I actually think I agree with most of the take. It would be hard. Like, I don't want to see all. I definitely don't want to see apes migrate to a new contract. Some pudgy penguins probably feel the same way. But his take essentially is like we could have a resurgence, or I think he likes leaning into renaissance. And the take is here. If I were running a top 10 NFT brand, I'd migrate old contract to enforce royalties, launch the NFT strategy, align the brand and revenue with that strategy, return to Web3 before everyone leaves for good. And he goes into explain more detail. This is return to Web3. My interpretation of that is holder alignment, value accrual to the underlying token. Your IP is not competing with Pokemon. You're not going to be the next Disney. If you want a army of loyal brand ambassadors, of raving fans, you need to reward them. Not normal rewards early on. This is a very noisy space. If you want to capture and sustain any sort of attention and support, you need to give them outside rewards early on, or at least show the path towards perpetual rewards. That, I truly believe, is a lot of what led to the momentum and excitement during the mania. And then whether it was, oh, well, apes, Yuga dropped ApeCoin, and then everyone else decided to not do it because they got a Wells notice, and then they restarted back when Pingu dropped theirs a year ago. There's still more things you can do. It doesn't need to be another NFT drop, another secondary drop, a token drop. But aligning your strategy, whether it's you go the strategy route or otherwise, I'm not knocking that. Chimpers and Good Vibes Club have both done very well relative to the rest of the market. But this is the bigger point. This is what I'm going to drive home is this means shifting focus back to Web3 native products, experiments, activations, and genuinely empowering your community. Right now, communities feel taken for granted, used to supercharge Web2 expansion and side ventures without delivering meaningful value back to the holders, if ever, and certainly not anytime soon. I think this is the biggest drop. Maybe it's unrelated to floor price. I'm not talking floor price. I'm not talking about magical internet money. I'm saying as an active participant here every weekday for the last 5 years running, this is what was so you felt as you were part of something. You felt as if you were a stakeholder. I know we weren't vested shareholders, but you felt as if you got to participate in the building and the potential upside. And that didn't always just come in a token drop or an NFT, a secondary NFT mint. It often came from collaborations, partnerships, other things, other value add throughout the space. Crypto's not stopping. There's hey, if this morning's conversation leads to anything, hopefully it is a focus back on apps over more infrastructure. There's ways to participate. Like, for instance, if you are leading, maybe Kane tells you to pound sand. Now I've got my own head. I think that's it. And he's not interested. Or maybe you reach out to him and he's like, yeah, we actually, in addition to our CT Mafia, we'll give every penguin holder 5 crates. We'll give every Bored Ape Yacht holder 5 crates. There's maybe that's a no. Infinex isn't going to be the only activation. There's ways to reward your community and make them feel aligned. And you do, like, these brands realize the network effects, whether it's instant sellouts that allows them to expand into other verticals, other distribution channels, whether it's 5-star rating reviews. Like, the community activates unlike any place I've ever seen before, which is a good thing. If it's one-sided, eventually they move on and they start doing other things, because why would I keep supporting a brand and hold this asset that's worth $10,000 plus when I get better rewards from my American Express card? Rewards, loyalty programs aren't new. They're not exclusive to Web3. They can be better here. Part of it is the fact that you can have third parties tap into this and see and reward those individuals. Like, there's more you can unlock. There's more you can do. And I feel like I'm taking crazy pills that so many of the brands have just moved away from this. I don't know why, unless they're just out of ideas and they think the only thing they can do to reward is drop another token or an NFT mint. That's not it. Let's go back to Husker and then we'll get Ian in here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know, do any of you guys listen to Uneasy Money? It's one of the Unchained podcasts, like weekly shows. It has Luca, Kane, and I want to think it's like someone from MetaMask on there. But I think this is something that is greater than just NFTs, but they need to figure out how does all of this stuff equate to the actual company, because I don't know if you guys have been following the Aave news, but you have the Aave DAO kind of going against Aave Labs right now, which I think is somewhat similar because you have in NFT land, you have the token and you have the NFTs. And how do these things all play together when it comes to like revenue? Where does the company end up going if it ever IPOs? And I think this is like one of those things that like, hey, we need to start figuring this out, guys, because this is now, I think, starting to cost us people and engagement, because we don't want to put in a lot of work and effort, if you're in a DAO where like the labs can just come in and screw you, quite honestly.
Yeah, and I guess to that, like no one should be dropping governance tokens in 2026. I feel pretty strongly there. That's oftentimes that not only are they not real governance, it's just not. That's be better. Have a better use case for if you're going to drop a token. Have a better use case than just governance. Those days I think have come and went, and I think more something to do, some use case, something to use the token for, other than voting, is table stakes, in my opinion. Ian, go ahead, get in here. GM, welcome to the stage.
GM, long time no talk. Thank you for having me back up here.
Pleasure's all.
I got a couple things. So on that governance talk, I'll say that the governance token is a 2021 relic that companies will enforce just to take the blame off of themselves in case the SEC were coming for them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So not needed anymore. I mean,
We're still getting those governance tokens. Yeah, so I just feel like governance is dead on that front. And to be honest, there wasn't ever governance. It was just kind of a mask for the idiot retail. So right now, and then on your talk about exchanging contracts, I personally think that's the stupidest thing that they could do in this space right now. I think the reality is, I know a lot of people out there like to point to, oh look, holder number is going up. Oh yeah, my mutant is only worth 2K now, but our holder number is 11K. Half of that stuff is just forgotten wallets. The other half is people spreading NFTs to different wallets to be able to maybe get an airdrop from it. I think the reality is if we switch contracts, we're going to see how little wallet, how little participation has been in this actual ecosystem. Like if anybody has been looking at any event of the analytics over the past couple days, there's probably been less than 1,000 people total buying NFTs. If we do a contract change right now, yeah, maybe there'll be only 2,000 people paying the Yuga Labs or whatever Doodles, whoever royalties it is. And guess what? How did royalties help us for the past 5 years? And when I say us, I mean retail.
Well,
Has anybody really been doing that well from the royalties that their company now receives? So now that their Azuki can now make a watch, or you can now get a Miami club. No, royalties hasn't done anything for the individual.
I mean,
Royalties just want to me, just let me finish real quick. Royalties
you're cutting out.
of that elite. It's a further pushing of giving money back to, you can say, the artist, and yeah, on some stage, on some small points, maybe there's a smaller artist who went out and made 100 pieces, and the royalties paid him well. But we're sitting at a joke if we think that giving royalties to any of these big top 10 companies is going to actually help us. It's not. It's just going to make their pockets fatter, longer. It's going to make their runway longer. And the reality of the situation is we're looking at like a year or two before all of these things implode. How long do you think the runway is on other side? These things are running out of money quick, and they to give them more royalties, to give them more runway when they've destroyed most of our income, most of our investments. No, they can't. No, they don't deserve it. Create something of value, and then we will be there. The market is there. With any other thing in this market right now, you create something of value, the users are there. But without creating that value, I'm not giving you royalties on garbage anymore. We're not in that anymore. We're done with that fakeness. We want to see real products. And yeah, I'm a little bit passionate about that. Thank you for my time. Thank you, Cap. I
Well,
appreciate you.
appreciate you chiming in. I just for the record, I don't think apes should go to a new contract. I do think there's several that could, and it's not just to rake in royalties, but for those that have a real plan that are shipping real stuff, it can be a great driver of revenue. And they can use it to drive alignment and show alignment. Now, could some founders just pocket the royalties and never give anything back? Yeah, absolutely. But I'd also say during the era of royalties, there was a lot more rewards for those participants, whether, in a variety of different ways, whether it was, I think about like, maybe it's a bad example, but I think about, I had an awesome time at a gala at Art Basel a few years ago thrown by World of Women. There's zero world they're throwing that gala without royalties. Now, you might say, I don't want to buy an NFT to get to a party. You don't have to, but access and activations was part of the perks. There's in some of these, it can help do more of that. I do agree. It's by itself, it's not enough. That said, we have seen, I mean, from a performance standpoint of the NFT, one that's the kind of a golden child of 2025 is Good Vibes Club. They're getting royalties. They made 7 figures on royalties this year, and they're doing things to show alignment with their hoarder base. They're rewarding their collectors. It may not be enough for you, but I do think royalties, especially for the artist, protected royalties was part of what attracted me to the space early on. Having a daughter who just graduated from college and is wanting to build a career in art as an artist, like that just makes sense. And maybe that's it. It doesn't work for NFT P2P collections, or shouldn't. But anyone launching anything on chain now, like you're probably doing it wrong if you're minting without royalties protected, because you can. And it still comes down at the end of the day, like whether it's royalties or they're bringing in revenue by selling merch or by selling blind boxes. Yeah, I agree. Like I would hope that many of them are building into their model, taking some of their margins, and I don't know whether it's 10% or 20% or something, and you're marking it for community. Do something to show alignment. Like I don't think buybacks are the answer. Some would, claim that as well. It's hard to do any of this stuff if you don't have sources of revenue, and royalties can be a real source of revenue. I don't mind paying royalties, especially if it's a profitable trade, where it stings paying royalties if they're forced on you and you're down. You bought something for 5 ETH and you're selling it for 0.5 ETH, and you got to pay royalties on top of that. That sucks. But I just think there's ways that the tech can evolve, can be better, and you can show alignment even with royalties. I've seen several people mention, well, what if you only force royalties if it was a profitable trade? Like there's ways that this could be done. There's ways this could evolve. I'm not saying it's just go back to the way it was and just force royalties on everything, but as an idea, I'm not saying it's the end all be all. Every company should not be doing this, but there's some who would probably benefit by launching a new contract. You were like in the middle of the last cycle. That's like provenance. What contract doesn't really matter, and they're probably just bleeding some revenue that they could close up by encouraging people to go to and maybe there's some incentive there. Go to a new contract. You do this for us, we'll do this for you. Go ahead, Ian.
One question on that. I definitely believe in artists being paid for their work, right? And do you believe, let's bring it out of Web3 and NFTs. If a Picasso sells a painting, right? I believe you should get that commission, or let's say the commission is the royalty, right? Do you think Picasso should be paid in full in perpetuity forever for every piece of Picasso ever sold?
Not in full, but it'd be cool if 10% went back to his estate or a museum.
So
Or
even then, even 10%, no matter when the Picasso sold, you think every time the Picasso should be sold, maybe 10% goes back?
I mean, I would argue that Picasso had a lot more to do with that painting selling than the gallery, or the broker who's making probably 10 to 20% on it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool feature.
I that is a definite different point of view than me, and I'm not going to fault you on that point of view. I guess that's kind of how I look at it. As I didn't expect Picasso to get paid on every single time this painting is sold, even if the next person who's selling it is making a profit on it.
Well,
Picasso sold the painting for a cost. They got paid for it. They can now make a new painting. They can now make new art. They can now do whatever they would like. But
sure. I think part of
yeah,
part of art and collectible value of the art is not overflooding the market with supply. How do you protect against every time an artist goes up in stature from just flooding the market with new art? Is that they don't have to launch new art because they're getting paid on the original works they did. And oftentimes, it's not all, there are exceptions, but oftentimes the earliest work, the grails, the OGs, the original pieces of artwork, those artists are often selling them for pennies on the dollar or hundreds of dollars or maybe $1,000. And then usually, sometimes it's post mortem before they ever pop off, but usually it's later in life. And can they sell new art for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of dollars? Sure, they can, but that's like the 0.01%. I'm talking about an artist. They have a nice come up. They're originally selling art for $200 a canvas, and fast forward 5-10 years, and now they're selling art for 10 grand. But the only way for them to make money is to flood the market with new supply. I think there's a better way, and I think royalties can help solve that. That they are, again, I think that the artist is more responsible for that increased valuation than is the broker or the gallery. The art doesn't exist without the artist, and yet
see, I feel it's the opposite. I think it's the culture that drives the art, and that the artist is the beneficiary of their culture. But
fair.
I have to run real quick. I totally appreciate the conversation, and thank you for having my time.
Appreciate you jumping up. And you're not different perspectives. You're not wrong. Um, I just think there's multiple ways to do this, and I think royalties was what attracted a lot of artists to crypto and Web3. And yes, by the way, for those asking, we did go back up over 90, and the short is open. So do not do what I say. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm likely to get liquidated on this short. I hope I get liquidated on this short for all of our bags, but I'm just having some fun. This is a way for me to feel something on a Monday morning. Um, small, just little fun DGen bag of throwing something at a short to see if I can play the game. I just want to book a win, and if I can close this short in a profitable short, that'll be my win for Monday. So do so at your own risk, and if you're going to trail me on this, don't trail me at 40x. Don't. This is dust I'm throwing at something. Don't use any sort of size if you're going to lever up that much. You could go to the bathroom and you'd be liquidated before you get back. So do so responsibly. Yeah, short, for those asking, short is open, and we'll be closing it at some point today. Send it to something that's not going to make everyone freak out. 88. I'd be happy with like 88. I should probably set a take profit number, but again, I want to feel something. So the thought of going to the bathroom and have to run back to check the chart is exciting to me. Last bit of news before everyone get out of here, unless there's any other comments or thoughts on any of this, is not only did Rect seen in the wild at Giant Eagle in Columbus, Ohio, OSF shared on his space last week that Rect Rewards will go live in the physical stores in January. If that's successful, that's when our playbook expands from just 200 stores to thousands of stores. Really excited for this. It's challenging. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I'm here for it. I've been saying for the longest time, I think brand coins could be the next evolution of loyalty rewards programs. Could be a true evolution of loyalty rewards programs. It unlocks more potential of what they could do with it. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it's going to work, but I'm here for the experiment. And again, that's part of what gets me so excited about the crypto natives is they are doing things differently. They should be doing things differently. Don't just sell us a toy for $100 that is no better than the $15 toy at Walmart. Vince Mint, if that's what you're doing, don't do that shit. It's old. No one wants that. Do something different. Doesn't have to guarantee some sort of 10x or any sort of financial reward, but at least use the technology. Make it better than something that wasn't on chain, or just sell it to your Web 2 audience. Don't sell it to your loyal supporters here, your raving fans, because they're expecting that alignment. They're expecting some sort of value accrual back to them or some sort of activation back to them. Seems obvious to me, but few are doing it. Hence why I'm such a big fan of the rec team. Opportunist adds, this is always a fun conversation, but both sides seem to have valid points. I like the idea of future estates of artists being paid from a % of sales, and the culture side of the debate is valid. Dwayne says, thanks for the info on the Nobody Sausage blind box, getting an other side avatar. I'm not really interested in plushy keychain, but definitely want the OS avatar and future opportunities. Minute a box just now. There you go. We sold at least one more blind box because there's incremental value.
I bought a 6-pack, Cap. I just had to.
7 more. We sold at least 7 more of the Coffee with Captain Pump because people appreciate perpetual value accrual back to the underlying asset, in this case, a blind box. Thank you, Nobody Sausage, for making us all believe again. Greatly appreciated. I think that thing is still live.
I think it's in its last seconds right now, Cap, or just finished.
Went to about 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah. It actually just finished.
Well, there you go. Time has passed. Hope you got some. And if you missed, stay tuned. We will be we'll be giving away at least one here later this week. I just need to hit the wallet first, and then we'll get that out to a lucky winner. If anyone else has any promos, giveaways, I see Imlo out there. Imlo, I'm going to follow back up with you. Imlo has a piece of art from his collection that he offered up the day he hit the B-Pillar Art Basel. We just haven't found the right time for that. We're going to do that this week as well. And anyone else that wants to participate in the goodies, let me know. Here comes the Coffee with Captain Pump. They say we're under 90, 89, 934. Let's go. Vamos. Give me 88K. Sorry. And then send it. Then you can send it to all-time highs. Just let me book a win here on a short today. I would thank you. And Maida says, I bought a Nobody blind box because of Coffee with Captain. I hope you really enjoyed that other side avatar, and those perpetual rewards pay big dividends. It may not be worth $29.99, but again, I'm here to support the team as much as I am. I mean, I'm here to make money, don't get me wrong, but it's easier to support a team with the chance of potentially making future money than it is to support a team just so I can buy a $100 toy. That's just me. If you like your $100 vinyls or buy $100 keychains, by all means, buy as many as you want. I've never bought a $100 keychain in my entire life. It's going to take a lot more than just the toy keychain to get me to do that. That said, stay safe, stay warm. Death Fund giveaway. Thank you for that. I did follow up with Steve. He hasn't forgotten. He's unavailable this week. Some of you, if you're here regulars, you may know what he's doing, but I'm not sure if it's all public. So yes, thank you for the reminder, Katie. I will get with Steve. I just don't have access to that, but we will get that done. The Death Fund giveaway, likely next week, maybe the new year. I just need Steve to get back, and he's enjoying some much deserved. Well, he's still working this week, so I don't know. Maybe we get it done this week because he's not fully checking out like I encouraged him to do. So, anyways, I digress. Priority said too much. Closing things out here. The reminder for Tuesday, I'm going to repin up above. Also, if you're looking for another space, there is a Wrecked Weekly. It's going to be about an hour earlier today, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern. So kicking off just now, I pinned that up top, and I'm going to repin the link for tomorrow. Everyone's favorite co-host that's not Steve rejoining us tomorrow. Outer Lumen coming back, and she's already got some great notes that I'm excited to chat about with all of you tomorrow. And we will. It's going to be a fun week. We'll do some giveaways, shorter show, maybe voice only on Thursday, Friday. To be determined, but we'll be here as always, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And as my buddy Steve would say, hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.